We're talking to Mr. RWinston from the Agricultural Extension Department at Tennessee State University, and Ms. Martha Thomas, a person involved in family living, as a specialist in family living. Ms. Thomas, let us say that. Ms. Thomas, let's have you, during the last 5 or 6 minutes that we have here, let's have you to begin this segment of the program by talking about something that you mentioned quite earlier, dealing with nutrition and the internet. And I know that a large number of people are involved with the internet and with computers today and et cetera, and it's rare that you think in terms of farm and home and Ministers Institute and Extension dealing with the internet. How do you find from your studies and whatnot that you might be able to use the internet in what you're doing?
Well, I think you have to look at 2 or 3 things. One, there's just numerous amount of information on the internet. But the next thing you have to think about is it resourceful? So sometimes you have to look at that and look at more than one network in order to find whether this information is legitimate or not. Some companies, institutions put information on the internet and they never go back and change it or update it. So when you find information on there, you need to look at all those types of things. Another thing you need to be aware of is not to go in and try to print the first thing you see. I made that mistake when I was first learning how to use the internet, and I saw a document that I wanted and I didn't realize it was 200 and some pages, so I tied the system up for quite a while. But it's wonderful information for people that's looking for health information, nutrition information. Many universities have excellent information. You can find teaching outlines. You can find things if you were doing a paper or doing a speech. So it's just numerous information out there. But I would just caution that you need to check your resources and make sure they're relevant.
You know, Ms. Winston, we talk about the Agricultural Extension Department at Tennessee State University. Why don't you give us some information about the scope of that department? I know that that it is sponsoring the Farm, Home, and Ministers Institute, but there might be some members of our audience who would like to know more about the extension services itself at Tennessee State University. And let's talk about it from that perspective over the last few minutes.
Okay, the extension program at Tennessee State University is a federal funded program. This program was first funded in 1972. Today we are involved in 4 program areas. We're involved in agriculture, natural resources, family living, CRD, and 4-H. So we're basically focusing on those 4 areas. We have county agents located out in the counties, located in 11 counties, in West Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and East Tennessee. So we have a staff of a total of about 41 staff members in our extension program.
So it's quite an extensive program that reaches into the areas of the county, various counties, that you probably wouldn't think of in terms of being an institution or university.
Right, all the way from Memphis to Dyersburg, Nashville, Chattanooga.
And people are in those areas actually employed by Tennessee State University as part of your staff.
That's correct.
But they are working somewhere else and living somewhere.
Stationed in those counties.
Very good, and of course, Ms. Thomas, I would imagine that dealing with all of these various groups as part of that, and especially family life, what can you say to our audience this morning about some of the things that you believe to be important about what you're doing?
Well, I think it's important from the standpoint that we have people out there that have relevant research-based information, and I think that's a plus for the Cooperative Extension Program, is that we use research-based information. The extension specialists provide materials to the staff, the training to the staffs in the county, and they carry it to the people. And we have a network. If I don't know, I go to USDA for my information, and universities are researching information. So a new trend is that we don't develop all the material ourselves, but we rely on USDA, we rely on other universities that maybe have more resources than we do to get that research-based information. So instead of me trying to spend months writing a curriculum, I can purchase that curriculum from another university and get permission to make that relevant to the people in Tennessee and use that. So it's been a real plus. And the faculty in the counties are doing wonderful jobs. They're dealing with nutrition issues, family parenting issues, discipline issues, drugs, smoking. So they just, a little bit of everything. So it's not clothing and what they say, food and clothing. Food's very important, but it's not those basic things they used to think about. That people put extension in a category of farming and that's it. But we work with urban audiences as well as rural audiences.
Very good. And so what's going to happen on the 2nd, 7th of November, is that the date that for this? Well, what will happen next week will that these folks will come from all around these areas, right, and they will be refreshed.
That's right. They'll come in by busloads.
And be refreshed, and they'll be ready to go back and make preparations for the 40th.
That's
annual Farm Home and Ministers Institute. And let me thank the two of you, Mr. Winston and Ms. Thomas, for coming by and giving us that excellent information about the Farm Home and Ministers Institute. And again, that institute will be held on the downtown campus of Tennessee State University on the 7th of November. That's a Friday morning, is it not?
That's correct.
On the 7th of November. And let me encourage you to be there, and let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you, and good morning.